guys, welcome back. Welcome to the Ready, Set, Blow podcast. Back, Mike Nell. Got my man, Dave. Do we want to go with the fake last name, Hahn?
Yeah, let's go with the fake last name. I can't give away my government name.
How did you come up with Hahn?
Han's actually my middle name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
a very Asian middle name.
It's a very Asian middle name. So
are both sides Asian, or is one side,
No, so Hahn is my mother's maiden name. So there was this thing where...
Oh, is it like German or something?
No, it's I just changed the spelling.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. To be an asshole, but...
Gotcha. Do they consider, like, Filipinos and Indonesians Asian?
That's a good question. I mean, they're in Asia.
But technically so is most of Russia and all of the Middle East.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why I like the distinction Oriental. And so white people get offended. White people got all fucking offended by Oriental.
You see, this is a problem, right? If black people can call themselves the N-word, why can't Asian people or Chinese people, or Far East people call themselves Oriental?
That's what my mom still said Oriental.
Yeah, because white people still call themselves superior. So,
I mean,
the good ones,
the master race,
the master race.
Yeah,
that is funny. I mean, like multiple races and multiple creeds of people and nationalities, all have considered themselves the best forever. Like, I mean, the Jews have been calling themselves the chosen people since the old Torah came around.
Yeah,
but then all of a sudden, white people became the master race, and I assure you, Asian, the Chinese. All the previous dynasties that are now China consider themselves the shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of nationalism going on over there, and they hate each other, which is fine. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but it's just that's why again I like the distinction Oriental, because you know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. The Orient.
Yeah.
It literally just means east.
Yeah, exactly. You're not talking about a guy from India when you say the Orient.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I say the Orient if you just said it?
If I'm talking about India, I'm saying other words. Yeah. Like, like shitty or
smelly.
Smelly.
Yeah. That's funny that like you could still say Oriental rug, like that hasn't gone out of style.
Yes.
But that's like the only time you can say Oriental.
Well, and what's funny is when I say Oriental, they're like, "I'm not a rug." I'm like, "Yeah, but that's not what."
It's a rug that came from the Orient.
The Orient.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the opposite of Occidental. Occidental is west.
Yeah.
Orient is east.
I just recently learned that.
Yeah.
I always thought I didn't know what it meant. I thought it was just the name of a corporation. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
And this is something else I learned recently that fucking blew my mind, because I like to think of myself. Listen, I'm not the most educated guy, but I'm more educated than most of the fucking dopes in traffic. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious, so like I like to know stuff. Particularly about geography. I always love maps. I like spatial things like math. I'm one of those guys. I'm almost from the Orient. But and I learned this, I shit you not, like this year. And, just last week, this week I got back from Germany. And I had no idea that when it was East and West Germany,
yeah, and
East and West Berlin, I thought that the line of demarcation, like, between East and West, ran through Berlin and like straight up. Mm-hmm. No. Berlin was way into West Germany, right? But part of the city, there's like literally 200 miles between Berlin and the rest of East Germany. But then the city itself was split in half.
Huh.
Yeah, so pull that up, Mike, on a map. See if you can find that. A map of East and West Germany, and then they'll show Berlin. And you'll see like Germany is well into the Western German territory, but half the city belonged to East Germany.
Yeah.
Like the border for East Germany was fucking far.
There's a guy.
Oh, there was go back. There was a good map. Pull that up. So that dot right there is fucking Berlin.
Is that Berlin?
Yeah, it is well into East German territory. So I was like, holy fuck. I had no idea.
Funny.
I just thought it was like the Great Wall, split it up. Nope. The fucking Berlin Wall was just a wall in the city. And then outside of Berlin was all East Germany. It was surrounded by East Germany.
Is that West Germany?
Yeah, the blue is West Germany.
West Germany.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that fucking blew my mind. I was like, wait, what?
And then so the yellow is
the city of Berlin. And that city is split in half. So
interesting.
So half the city belonged to West Germany, but all of Berlin was in East Germany.
So
yeah, it was it's wild.
Who the fuck thought that was a good idea?
I mean, look, when we dominated in that, the second time around,
right?
we whacked it up between us, the UK, and Soviet Russia, and then things got tense. Once we were strange bedfellows because we had a common enemy, and then once we crushed the common enemy, we started fighting each other.
Speaking of Germany, East and West Germany, this is something that people don't talk about. Is they say that the armistice after World War I was punitive to the point where it gave rise to Hitler, right? But no one ever talks about how punitive. What is that? The Treaty of Versailles, was that after World War II?
Yeah.
How punitive that was.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, like, we split. Here's the thing: the armistice imposed something like 400 sanctions and conditions on Germany, most of which were not enforced.
Yeah.
But after World War II, we split their country in half and we held a gun to their head and said, okay, this is what's happening now. We're going to occupy you and you're going to do what we say. Oddly enough, there was not another rise of Hitler.
Yeah, I think the difference there is, and this is real inside baseball for the, my less curious listeners who like, dick jokes and butt jokes. Just give me 5 minutes. But I think the difference there was the Marshall Plan. So the United States spent the equivalent of hundreds of billions of dollars rebuilding what was East Germany and Japan, whereas after the armistice, there was none of that. Right, so we sort of we spent the money to recreate it in our own likeness, similar to like Reconstruction down in the South. Right,
which we should have done after World War I. But
yeah, of course.
But what I'm saying is, if you examine what we did to Germany after World War II, it was more punitive and harsher than what was imposed on Germany.
Oh yeah, it was just total occupation of the country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's why it doesn't make sense to me. It's like, well, the armistice couldn't have given rise to Hitler if we actually enforced what was put upon them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that's why I think that's garbage.
Yeah, well, dude, think about it. Think about Japan. We changed their flag.
Yeah.
You're still allowed to have Confederate flags in the South. In Japan, you're not allowed to have the other flag. The rising sun is fucking gone, dude. They're still not allowed to have an army. They have like a defensive army, and they have battleships that don't have missiles and fucking shit on it. But, they're still following, 100 years later, they're still following that.
Yeah, good.
Good. Well, that's the thing. There's only two ways to win a war, right? Either you win ideologically and the people of that country rise up and decide they want change, like many of the Eastern Bloc countries, or you just destroy their original identity and rebuild them.
Yeah.
and we did the latter in World War II.
So war, look, war ends in either total annihilation and occupation, or attrition and surrender.
Yeah. And that's what the Cold War was. We just bled them to death money-wise until the Soviet Union collapsed.
Well, the nature of communism means that you're just going to run out of money.
Oh yeah, so, but when we're over here fucking living fat off, high off the hog, and they're starving, they're like, well, fuck that. We want what the West has now.
I heard this story where like Gorbachev or somebody came over to the United States during the Cold War, and they were just astonished by how full our grocery stores were.
Oh yeah, that was a big deal. They were like, what, dude? You guys just throw out more food than we have?
They're like, wait a second, how do you do this? You mean you don't have to have a command economy and like this just happens?
Yeah, this is why I've always had the thought that democracy follows capitalism, not the other way around, right? And capitalism, look, no system of economic policy or government is perfect, but there's some that are definitely better, and capitalism's definitely the best of the lot, and democracy's definitely the best of the lot, right? But it works because I feel like capitalism operates on base human instinct, right? If you do X, you get Y, right?
Well, it's an incentive-based system.
That's what I'm saying. You're right.
Is, yeah.
And that's where, I think you and I both agree on this. Even though we're politically have very different views on many things, but the problem with regulation isn't regulation itself. It's what are you incentivizing people to do, right? Mm-hmm. Like a regulation that makes sense because it directs people's behavior in the right way is fine. Regulation for regulation's sake is the dumbest fucking thing on the planet, right? It's just...
Well, that's most of what California does.
Oh, that's a great example. But then you have Texas where they have their own, where it's a fucking free for all, and they get one ice storm and there's no electricity. Like, so like the opposite end of the spectrum sort of works.
Well, one of the problems with that particular ice storm and their electricity was that they installed a lot of windmills.
Yeah, well, that's T. Boone Pickens did that. He was one of the big oil men from back in the day. He's like, yeah. He's like, we live in the best. He's like, I didn't get into oil because I like oil. I got into oil because I like money.
Money.
Yeah, and you know we have a lot, infinite amount of, in especially North Texas, the Panhandle, wind. So I started building windmills. Like,
well, yeah, but then the thing is that they don't work if there's no wind. And you know what Kansas?
Yeah, but that's why you do. That's why you do it in the Dust Bowl and Tornado Alley, right?
Yeah,
and it, you know, of course. I mean, nothing's perfect. Fucking electricity goes out too. Like the coal-fired electricity goes out.
Well, here it does.
Well, that was the old Enron special. That was actually one of the best corporate fucking scams ever run, right? I mean, so they were trading on energy prices, but Enron was, but they also controlled the power plants. So if they shut down the power plants that generated the electricity, it would spike. They would trade and then turn the stations back on. That's what the a great book, Smartest Guys in the Room. They talk. They have literal phone conversations. Of this. They have a trader in New York, an energy trader in New York, calling a plant in like Arizona or in Nevada that supplied Southern California with power. Say, hey, can you guys shut down for a couple hours? Like, oh yeah, no problem. They just fucking shut it off. It's like it's talk about foxes guarding the hen house. I mean, it was doomed for failure at that.
That sounds like a comedy sketch. It does. It sounds like a comedy sketch. Yeah. Like no one would write. They're like, this is not believable. No, it actually happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what happens when there's a deregulation that didn't pan out, right? Like deregulating energy, fine, but when the energy company itself controls the power plants, it's like, wait a minute. That was never going to work. Just like with the fucking banks, man. Like the fact that banks under the previous Glass-Steagall Act, banks were allowed to. They stopped allowing commercial banks like your normal, fucking neighborhood bank. They stopped allowing them to use depositors' money to invest in speculative investments. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, well, so typically, for the very simply explain banking the way it works, like your local bank, they take in your deposits and they give you now fucking 1% before nothing in interest. Yeah. But then they turn around and give you out home loans in this, in roughly the same area or state, and they loan those out at mortgage rates that are like 3% higher than the 1% interest they're giving you. They make that spread. That's their income. Uh-huh. Right. But instead, like, well, why would I give out a home loan if I could take this bet on Facebook stock and maybe make fucking 5x my money, right? So once you remove that and bankers can just take cheap deposits, because it's even cheaper than think about it. Like to get money from the fucking Federal Reserve window, it's like, X%, but they always give less than that in interest, right? So you'd rather take deposits from people in your community because they never want to, they want to keep that interest rate low. So yeah, I get basically free money from these assholes in the neighborhood, and then I get to buy some high-flying stock on an Asian stock market in the hopes that it makes, 10x my money. And oh, by the way, because I, as the banker who's making the trade, am not doing it. The company is. I won't go to jail for fraud or malfeasance. The company will be fined for it. I won't lose my bonus, right? The company will just go under, and I'm still entitled to my bonus. It's just they're gonna fucking cheat. I mean, like it's pretty simple. One of my favorite things that I learned. I think I told you about this separately. I don't know if I ever spoke about it on air, but in China, this is going back like probably 5-6 years, they were having problems with smuggling over the North Korean border, right? Because North Korea is cut off from the rest of the world because of all their sanctions. So they found out border agents in northern China on the border of North Korea were taking bribes from people in North Korea to allow them to smuggle goods back and forth. China... And this is a great regulation. This is absolutely perfect because it works perfectly with the way human beings behave because we're all greedy and selfish at our base levels. Instead of saying you'll get fired or brought up on charges for taking a bribe as a border guard for the Chinese, border patrol, the government said you can keep the bribe, but you have to turn them in, and you'll actually get career advancement. So they literally said, and smuggling literally went down 90%. Because immediately everyone's like, oh, I get to keep the money and they'll get promoted. I'm gonna fucking turn in every smuggler I find.
Oh, that's
it was perfect. It was perfect.
Funny.
Yeah.
We do that at the southern border.
Yeah, I mean,
Can we
how would we change regulation? What would we allow border guards to do to get what we want?
Well, it's like, but also, how much is a Chinaman walking over the southern border worth, right? You know, like you keep the bribe, but you have to turn them in. Like, who were we turning in?
Yeah. What if we told like the U.S. Border Patrol, it's like, okay, you guys decide who gets in, but but what is the Border Patrol? Probably fucking 90% men. So it's just hot chicks from South America pouring into the United States.
That's what we should do.
That would be awesome.
We should do. As a matter of fact, the Border Patrol should just travel to Venezuela
and pick the women they want.
Yeah, it's like, hey, come on. That's some passport bro shit.
I know, that's some P. Diddy shit.
And stealing all the women is going to keep the men out of our country? How?
Well, because the men that are selecting them are armed guards at the border. Right? They can shoot on sight. That's the other side of the coin.
Yeah. You better arm them good.
Yeah, so they get to kill their husbands and fathers that are coming over, but keep the hot chicks.
Yeah, dude. You know,
a controversial take, I know.
Speaking of P. Diddy, dude, I don't really know.
That's the big news this week.
So wait. So look, this is sort of in my periphery, but
mine too.
It sounds like P. Diddy was just he was Epstein, except didn't have an island.
Yeah, and and I also don't know if the women were of age, right? Mike, do you know what's going on with this? Can you fill us in?
Hell no, I'm old,
dude. I'm just like, look, there's like,
yeah. What are the sex trafficking? But what are the allegations? Like, I haven't read the indictment.
Like racketeering, sex trafficking.
Was he
drugs?
Well, I mean, we all do fucking drugs, right? I mean, like
they found like 784 dildos.
Oh, and they found 1,000 bottles of lube.
Of lube.
That's a lot of lube. I mean, dude,
a lot of lube.
20 bottles of lube is a lot of lube. I mean, if you're using lube, what do you put? A dime size amount? Like, are you bathing in it? Yeah,
well,
what are the charges
so like
here?
someone put out a thing where I guess one of the security guards or something was the one who was recording everything.
Well, I think that is definitely illegal to, because then it's like extortion, right? Like if you're secretly videotaping somebody in a suggestive situation and then pressuring them, that's extortion.
Yeah, the Instagram post that I saw was so funny. It was like leaked audio. It was leaked audio of what apparently was Diddy fucking some rapper, and I was
male or female?
No, it was a male. It was a dude, and I was listening to it, and after like 23 or 24 times, I still couldn't figure out if it was real or
what was like just audio.
It was just audio, and it was just clapping. I just heard clapping,
cheeks clapping,
and then just a dude just screaming, and I was like, okay, I guess. I mean, look, man, whatever, but I don't know. That sounds like some Epstein shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the thing with Epstein is they were fucking children, right? But if you're fucking a 22-year-old male rapper, it's like, eh.
Well, there's
as long as there's consent. That's the question. Was there consent?
Well, I guess one of the allegations is that he had underage sex workers.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go.
I mean, just walking around his parties with drugs. And
this is what I don't understand about all these fucking... I think the celebrities are just have a god complex, so they can get away with this. Why, like, or maybe it's a chemical imbalance. He was P. Diddy. He fucking Diddy. He can, I'm sure there was 10 million hot chicks he could have at a fucking, at one of his freak outs, as he called them.
Yeah.
Or freak parties, whatever the fuck he called it. Freak offs. That's what it was.
The problem is so many of these people accusing him also like just got out of jail for shit too. So Derek Lee Cardello Smith was convicted and is a sexual predator and has been in prison for 26 years or whatever.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this man's a convicted felon sexual predator who's been sentenced on 14 counts of sexual assault and kidnapping over the last...
And he's accusing him? He's been in jail for 26... How the fuck would he know what Diddy was up to?
No, he's been accused of those things over the past 26 years.
Oh, okay. I was like, he did 26 years in prison? How the fuck did he know what Diddy was up to?
Yeah, anyways, this goes back to like 1997 or something that the guy claims that he got drugged and woke up in bed next to Diddy. Diddy was fucking a chicken. He looked at him and said, I just got done doing this to you, too. And implied that he was...
Well, there's also got to be a statute of limitations. 1997. I mean, what the fuck?
Well, a lot of this shit was all coming up at the same time on Diddy because the statute of limitations was ending in New York.
Oh, that's right. They had that little extension period. That's
so
right.
everything came out on him like, hey, okay, now's the time. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah. But what I was saying is, like, that's the thing, like, with these celebrities, right? Think about Bill Cosby, right? I bet you at least 2/3 of those women that he sexually assaulted, if he had asked, can we have sex? They'd be like, you're Bill Cosby, sure. He wanted to do that while they were passed out, right? Like, Jeffrey Epstein's fucked up, right? He could get a bunch of 20-year-old girls. Instead, he wanted 15-year-old girls. He's fucking mentally, bent. He's fucking gone. Like, that's wrong. But Diddy, it's like, dude, you can just ask these chicks to fucking get their consent on video and then do it. Or actually, these dudes. I mean, you telling me some of these fucking rappers, these male rappers, wouldn't suck Diddy's cock to become famous? I might suck his cock to become famous. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be a multi-millionaire. It's like, wait, I got to suck one guy's dick once? I was like,
3 Netflix specials, Randy.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like they get off on getting over, on getting away with it. And it's weird. It's like, you know what I like? When people agree to do what I want. It feels better when you agree to it, Because that means I actually won. I didn't get over on you. You agreed with me.
I feel like for someone like Diddy to just bang a bunch of aspiring rappers to make them famous. It's like, did you just run out of chicks to fuck? Are you bored with women?
Yeah, did you Marlon Brando it where you had to fuck Richard Pryor because you fucked every girl in Hollywood?
Yeah, because you needed to somehow augment being the alpha.
Yeah, you were so bored with pussy you moved on to fucking dudes in the butt.
You can fuck girls in the butt.
No, but he wants a man ass, right?
He wants a man ass.
A non-consensual man ass.
Yeah, there's nothing more alpha, I guess, than...
Yeah, in prison. Yeah. Outside of prison, it makes you real fucking gay.
You're a gay alpha.
See,
alpha.
Galpha. Yeah. See, I would argue that the real alphas are the power bottoms, right?
Power bottom. What the fuck is a power bottom?
Power bottom's the bottom who likes to fuck back.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
Not buying it.
Not buying it? Really?
Power bottom.
Really? I learned this, because I have friends in the gay community. There's a lot of, like, especially in the gay male community, there's, like, the concept of, are you a bottom or a top? Do you like to switch? There's that. Like, sometimes you pitch, sometimes you catch. Yeah. There's a term, mask, for mask. I mean, it's a masculine man who wants another masculine man, right? Because everyone has heard the term twink, right? So the most effeminate gay guy you can find. But there's like a whole community out there that's like, they don't present as gay, and they want other men who don't present as gay. Which I think makes the most sense as a gay man, right? Because if I were gay and I liked a man, I want him to be a man. I like women because they're not like me. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was gay, I wouldn't want the most effeminate gay man I can find because it's like, I'm a man and I like other men. I want a man too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. Like when you see two butch lesbians, like just find a dude. Like, why wouldn't you get like an effeminate woman if you like chicks?
Well, that's what I don't get about really effeminate gay dudes. It's like it's just all the annoying things about a woman with none of the redeeming qualities.
Oh. Yeah, they're just as annoying as women, but they don't have a vagina. Yuck. That's the only reason I put up with women at this point.
It's like
I reposted this recently. Speaking of this topic, the gender / sexual attraction topic. I posted this or reposted on my stories yesterday, and I got 1,000. And of course, women. It's funny, like. Women seem to hone. I trash men a ton with all my posts, but mostly I trash myself too. But it's like, oh, you're always trashing women. It's like, no, the ones that stick in your craw, reflect something about you that you don't like. It's one of those deals. But I posted this, and it got a lot of action just in my stories. People were like, "What? That's not true. What about infidelity?" So, the comment is, seems like women may be the problem, but there's a chart that says divorce rates.
Oh, yeah.
A man and a woman, 42%. 42% of straight couples end in divorce. 72% of lesbian couples end in divorce.
Yeah.
And only 28% of gay male couples end in divorce. And the comment was, seems like women may be the problem.
Yeah.
And I shit you not, at least 20 women texted me. I was like, oh, that just seems like, infidelity is a problem because men cheat. I said, that's not true. There's 1,000 studies you can find out there. When self-reported, women cheat less than men, but self-reports are lies and women are liars just like men are.
Yeah.
But when you look at it statistically, infidelity happens roughly at the same rate between men and women. Like, men cheat on women roughly the same rate as women cheat on men.
Yeah.
Men just get caught more because we're fucking moronic and we're stupid. But these rates would tell me, yeah, living with a woman's not easy. They're very fickle animals.
I saw there was another meme floating around that's there where this woman posted, sex with a man is never great. And then someone responded, well, gay dudes seem to be having a great time.
Yeah, right. Exactly. They call themselves gay, which used to mean happy.
Yeah.
They didn't say, oh, we're depressed.
Yeah, it seems like men aren't the problem.
Yeah. Have you seen a pride parade? They seem to have a real good fucking time amongst each other.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's funny, dude. I saw that 72% statistic a while ago. It might have been a little higher for something that I saw.
Well, women are, I think this is true. I think women are just needier. Like women, I feel like women can't believe men are that simple. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like, they think we're more complex.
They refuse to believe it.
Yeah, because they're complex. They think we're complex, and we're just not telling them. It's like no. If you blow me once a week and let me watch football on Sunday without bothering me, I'll never leave you.
Well, I also think part of what works into the high lesbian divorce rate is that it's probably easier to get divorced as a lesbian.
How's that?
Well, because
less assets to fight over.
Yeah, what are you fighting over? What are you gonna do? Fight over hundreds of dollars in assets? What's that? You gonna write that prenup on a napkin?
Yeah, there's no children, so they walk away.
Yeah,
right.
They go into the relationship owning the same shit.
Yeah,
sex toys, flannels. They both drive a Prius.
And I also think gay men understand the male mind that, I know a lot of gay men, gay couples that are like, oh yeah, sometimes we bring in a third, or sometimes I'll allow him to step out. Because I get it. I'm a man, sometimes you just want to have a throwaway.
Yeah.
Whereas women, that is just not acceptable. Like you step out once, it's like, fuck you, you're dead to me. It's a little more rigid than that.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand that men are more likely to not be as emotionally attached to a sexual partner as a woman, might be on average, right? Every individual is different. I don't have to fucking explain this and qualify myself, but women are just more complex than us. It's almost like they can't believe that we're that simple. It's like, no, yeah, if you blow me every couple days and don't bother me every fucking minute about something, I'm not going to leave here.
That reminds me of a Patrice O'Neill bit, where he's talking about where he says, what do you say? He says, men don't want to be, we want to be left alone, but we don't want to be by ourselves.
Yes. I
that bit?
I remember
talking
this
about,
bit.
And then the whole thing was like,
yeah, he called me, ugh, what do you want?
Ain't that better? Ain't that better? It's like that was the tag the whole time. Ain't that better?
Yeah. What do you want? I just I love you. Ugh. Oh, that guy was, I still think, I think if he were alive today, his podcast numbers would dwarf Joe Rogan's. I think he might be the biggest shit going.
I mean, his clips from Opie and Anthony.
Oh, dude, I spent pretty much all of my last 2 years before I got into comedy, when I was still working, 80 hours a week in an office job. He had passed away. I was like, fuck it, I'll go back and start listening to the old O&A clips. Yeah. And started from the first episode he appeared on, because you can find YouTube or just all those episodes there, and just went fucking right through 3 years of Opie and Anthony segments that he appeared on.
Yeah, man. I like just listening to him off the cuff.
Oh yeah.
And almost everything he's ever said has aged really well.
That is true, and that's hard, dude. Because the world. Think about it. The world is moving so fast. So that's the thing. The news cycle, technology, everything's moving faster now than it did before, right? So in our grandparents' lives, the radio is out, then the TV, right? And that's kind of it. And then at the end, personal computers. Since I've been alive, fucking all that has become our phone, and now we have AI and news cycles. You used to have the newspaper. You get news once a day from two sources. There were 2 newspapers in your town. Now it's just every asshole has their own fucking news opinion. It's just the amount of information, the speed at which it's coming us is coming at us is faster and faster. So to have something to age well, it's impressive. Same thing with like George Carlin, man. His shit is even more poignant today than it was when he fucking wrote it, like 20, 30 years ago. I think, I mean, one of my favorite bits is when he talks about, now that it's election season, we're less than 60 days away. He's like, yeah, they like to give you the illusion you have a choice. He's like, the only choice you have in this country is paper or plastic. He's like, both parties are bought and sold by the corporations generations ago. He's like, they get what they want done, and they make you, and they make the American voter think there's some difference. I mean, dude, think about this. Like everyone, and I think this is true. Everyone's like, oh, Donald Trump's gonna be the end of democracy. He came in, not much changed. You know what I'm saying?
Why didn't it end
not
his
much
first
change.
term?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not much change. And then Joe Biden came in, and what happened? Not much change. I mean, like on the margins, there's some shit, but it's not like all of a sudden, the fucking train stopped working. Or whatever, the mail stopped being carried. Like not much has changed.
Look, Trump had both houses of Congress the first 2 years of his presidency.
Yeah.
And didn't do a lot of stuff.
Didn't do a lot of shit with it, yeah.
I mean, hey, if he was going to end democracy, that would have ended.
Yeah, he would have done it. He would have done it in his first term.
He would have done it.
Yeah, why would he be up for re-election?
Yeah.
If he was going to end it.
Oh, hey, we voted him out. All right. Yeah. So much for the end of democracy.
He didn't want to leave, but he fucking left.
He didn't want to leave, but he left.
He fucking left. Yeah. Everyone's like, no, hey, buddy, you got to go.
I was like, bro.
This hotel room's already booked again.
Yeah, I know.
We got to turn the sheets over here.
Like, you don't get squatters' rights at the White House, dude. Fucking...
I wonder if you could. How does that work? Is the White House federal property, or is it under DC's jurisdiction?
I have no idea how that
works.
Because
if DC's anything like LA, if you live there for 4 years, you got to go to an eviction court. It takes a year to get you thrown out. You know what I'm saying? Like, how great would it be if, like, oh fuck, the new president's got to stay. You got to stay at the hotel down the road because he's squatting. We got to the eviction notice hasn't been delivered and pasted on the door.
Well, I guess that would depend if he signed a lease. Sign a lease, stay at the White House.
I want to know what the paperwork is behind the presidency. What kind of shit do they got? I mean, like, dude, to open a fucking bank account, you need my birth certificate, a fucking driver's license, my social security card. My mom has signed a notarized thing. Like, what kind of paperwork do they actually make you fill out to be a president?
Well, you just put your hand on the Bible, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And pinky promise.
That's what I'm saying. So much of this country's administration is just tradition. Like,
yeah, well,
we didn't know the president couldn't. Can the president pardon himself? I don't know.
No one ever asked the question.
Why isn't there a law? Like, why?
Well, that's because that's the thing. Like, we never had to deal with that. It was sort of like during the Civil War, like secession was a legitimate question because they didn't know whether or not it could happen.
Yeah.
And so for instance, I've been having this discussion with some people, and that what they were saying that the legal argument with secession is that if you were one of the original 13 colonies, then you probably could secede.
Because you signed up to the original charter.
Yeah. So if you were a state that came into the Union after the federal government was formed, then no, you don't have grounds to do that.
Yeah, because you signed on to the package.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, well, this was federal land that then got converted into a state. And so that was sort of one of the arguments that was going on.
Yeah, particularly if it was purchased land too, right? It's one thing to have been a territory that we just fucking straight up evicted all the people who were there and just took it over. But like the Louisiana Purchase, that was fucking bought and paid for by the federal government. That was clearly their fucking land.
Exactly.
I mean, that was clearly
and so and then the 14th Amendment, I guess, it really answered the secession question, which now is no, you can't. But yeah, it's like no one ever asked a question if the president can pardon himself, and
I know. Well, this is the thing about.
Yes, Donald Trump could have pardoned himself.
But it would be a disastrous idea.
Oh, really? Who's GW?
George Washington, probably. George Washington Law School.
Is this one guy's interpretation?
Yeah, it's GW Law School.
No, I'm interested.
The guy from USA Today writes about just reading your old headlines. It says, yes, it could have been a thing.
That's what I'm saying, but but it's a great legal question. It's like, yeah, he could have. But then, right, if that's the case, then the next president, according to the Supreme Court now, could have had him fucking killed by the SEAL Team 6, right, as an official act right?
No, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case.
But okay,
Well-
okay, if that's not the case, and a president does do that, then he can pardon himself after committing a crime.
Quite possibly. Well, but that's the thing.
So this cycle goes on and on.
So these things would have to then be adjudicated through the courts, which would make it to the Supreme Court, and then they'd probably come back 9-0. No, you can't do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing about, civics. It requires that you be civil, right?
Well,
and without civility, you need laws.
Well, the thing is, presidential immunity was always assumed. It was always assumed. So, for instance, it was assumed, but certainly, and this obviously came later on from civil action, right? But never from state laws, right? Because states had their own laws, right? So if you commit a crime in a state, they can bring you up on charges whether or not it's a federal crime or not. Right. Well, and that's why the distinction was official acts.
Yeah.
So, for instance,
but that's the thing; they never define what an official act. Until recently, they've never made a ruling on an official action.
Well, they have it. Yeah. So the Supreme Court kicked it back, and they said, okay, well now
That's
you
right,
have
the
to
lower
figure
courts.
out. Now you have to figure out what was and wasn't official act. So, for instance, like if Trump met with the Secretary of State of Georgia to talk to him about something, that was an official act. So I think when the
but paying off a porn star before you were elected, that's not an official act.
No, it's not an official act. It's also not against the law. So
I agree.
It's not.
That was
not
by
against
far.
the law.
I mean, this shows you how frivolous and feckless liberals are. The only one of the 4 trials that they actually had go anywhere was the weakest charges against this man, and nobody cared. Right?
Well, and also
Right.
it's so bad that legal analysts, honest legal analysts on both sides, they don't actually think it'll make it to the Supreme Court. They think that the New York Court of Appeals will overturn.
Oh yeah, perhaps. Or he could just get sentenced to fucking nothing. Right? I mean, like it could be a big nothing burger.
Yeah.
Because it's not like he committed a violent crime by paying off some fucking hooker.
And that's what's interesting is like.
I mean, really, what it was, the campaign was literally like a paper crime. It was like, hey, you didn't report that you paid off the hooker with campaign funds. It's like, what? Like, okay.
Well, he didn't pay off the hooker with campaign funds.
No, his attorney did.
The allegation, well, it wasn't campaign funds. What the allegation is that he should have logged it under a campaign expense. So he should have logged it as a campaign donation. So it's his money.
Yeah, so because he was hiding it from his wife, it became a federal
It was his
crime.
money. And so the thing is, now after that trial, people actually don't, some people were like, no, this didn't happen. So they think it was actually extortion. And so...
Oh, on her part.
On her part.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, so the allegation was that Trump paid this with his money and to keep it out of the news because he was running for president. The allegation is that he should have categorized it under a campaign fund.
Reported it. Yeah,
you
paid
should
a
report
hooker.
it as a campaign donation or whatever.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if he'd have done that, he would actually have run afoul of campaign finance law.
Yeah,
he would actually have been in trouble. If he did that,
Yeah.
he legitimately could have been fined or been sent to jail for campaign finance.
You know what it is? It's kind of what really shows is kind of a little bit of penny pinching on old Donnie T's part. I mean, if what was it, $130,000?
Does that has $130,000?
I mean, he could go get $130,000 in cash, hand the fucking bag to Michael Cohen, tell him to bring it to the fucking lady, and be done with it. You know what I'm saying? Like because he was trying to get out of like what's the equivalent of a lunch to him. He has the whole fucking rigmarole. He probably spent $10 million in legal fees trying to defend himself of this fucking
Yeah,
thing.
because I think Cohen paid.
And then he reimbursed him.
And he reimbursed him, but he was going to reimburse him plus the amount in tax.
Yeah.
It's because he was going to basically say, we'll reimburse you by paying you as a legal expense.
Yeah, so it's basically like $200,000 he was charged. Yeah.
It was a if anything, it was a bookkeeping misdemeanor. But the what's funny about it all is that if they did what the state of New York alleges he should have done, he actually would have been guilty of
a federal crime.
Federal crime.
I mean, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of state laws and federal laws that don't make much fucking sense. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, man, fucking, we're fucking 45 days away from Election Day, and the big news is Diddy and 1,000 bottles of lube. His country, I mean,
I was joking
it's
with
entertaining. There's always something new.
You know, my wife always jokes that I can go out
47 days.
I can go out any night of the week under the guise of doing stand-up or doing stuff like this, right? Yeah. And so she'll joke that.
Don't worry, this one will be on the air, so your wife knows you're not lying about this.
I can show her the YouTube video.
Yeah. Look, babe, I was there.
You know, and so she jokes that you could be cheating on me. You know, I was like, well, listen,
no, it's just three ugly dudes in a room in Van Nuys.
Three fucking dudes with in a circle jerk, a sausage fest. And I was like, listen, if the opportunity comes and I need to suck off a tranny to get my special, then that might have to happen. I don't know. Right. And if you disagree with it, then you're a bigot. You transphobic bigot.
I'm gonna start using that. Anytime someone disagrees with me, you're a fucking bigot.
You fucking bigot.
What?
I'm starting to think that's what Dave Chappelle had to do. He's been talking about it for 3 or 4 straight specials.
Oh yeah, that's my problem with him. It's like, all right, buddy, like everyone changes their all the the A-listers change their material after a while because it's on a fucking Netflix. It's like, how many trans jokes are you gonna do here?
I think he'll do them until
he gets the taste of that dick out of his mouth.
He just. I think if people continue to get offended by his trans jokes, he's the type of guy who would just continue to do them.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm petty that way. Like, if you take a stand on something and you're wrong, but you don't back down, I'm not gonna let it go.
No.
I'm not gonna. It's like, well, now I'm gonna do it to spite you.
Yeah,
now I'm
exactly.
Now I'm gonna stay on. I'm gonna die on this hill.
Yeah,
Like I will end a relationship over this fucking thing.
I don't think there's every comedian has a streak of pettiness to him.
Oh, for sure.
And it's funny as
there's also a hypervigilance is what psychologists call it. You nitpick fucking everything.
Yes.
Like a big nothing that people won't even notice will fucking will capture your attention and irritate me to fucking no end. Like I was like, who cares? I care. Like, why do you care? I don't know. I want to not care about this. Like,
I do that with my wife in arguments. I was like, well, you said this.
Oh yeah.
No, you literally this is what it means.
Yeah. Well,
no.
I mean, like if as long as you're being intellectually honest, I'll let it go. But if I know I'm right and you refuse to acknowledge that, it's like, all right, well then this is where we're gonna draw the line in the sand. You know what I'm saying? Like I have no problem if I'm found to be wrong. It's like, oh shit, I didn't know that. You're right. My bad. But if I know I'm right and you're not like even entertaining the idea that's not what you have, that could be, that I could be, in the right, or I could teach you something you don't know. It's like, no. I'm like, fucking, well, all right. Well, if that's how we're going to do this, then I'm not going to let it go.
No.
I'm petty in that way.
It's like, now I'm just going to ridicule you.
Yes.
And you can accuse me of making ad hominem attacks, but we've already tried. I've tried reasoning with you. Now you're being stupid.
Yeah, now you're being a bitch.
Yeah.
You're being a crazy bitch using all the words they hate.
I know. This is fucking, oh my God.
So 1,000 days out, 2 shots at old Donnie Trump. I feel like one, first of all, I mean, can we stop with shooting at fucking politicians? It's ridiculous, or attempting to. I'm surprised it hasn't happened more frequently in the past. I mean, up through Reagan, I mean, it was like every third president got shot at, and then just nothing through the whole Clinton, Bush, Obama eras. Nothing. I mean, 30 fucking years of some of the worst behavior.
Well, and then they kept saying during Obama's administration that he had the most like death threats of any president ever. And I'm like, yeah, because there's the internet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, every asshole had a newspaper in their hand.
Like some guy could be like, "Fuck Obama, I'd kill him," and you could just throw that out into the internet.
Yeah, the kind of shit you would say at the edge of a bar on a bar stool now became fucking public things, and that's God, it drives me fucking bananas. Like, I'll be reading an actual news story from what I thought was a reputable fucking journalistic newspaper, and they're like, and the internet reacted, and they just show tweets from fucking random people. It's like, wait a minute, are any of those people elected officials or anybody in corporate or governmental power? I don't give a fuck what Tommy from Detroit said. Twitter went crazy. Fuck Twitter. Just some asshole has a phone. Everyone has a phone.
Dude, what is it? Like Twitter, 2%, what is it? 90 plus % of tweets come from 2% of the population.
Yeah, and those 2% are bots
Yeah, and it's like
right,
only
Serbia,
like 10%, only 10% of the population has a Twitter account, and then 90% of tweets come from 2% of accounts, and then how many of those are bots? And I'm sure the bot situation has gotten better since Elon Musk came along.
No, it hasn't. Well, I don't know about Twitter, but I can tell you this, and this is absolutely true. So I finally got off shadow ban. I started posting some Reels memes. A couple of them have done really well. Mm-hmm. One of them literally has almost 30 million views. And it was doing well, and then you sort of catch the algorithm, and then it starts to skyrocket.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, in the comments, and it's literally got, I don't know, 2 million likes and fucking almost 1 million shares and 20,000 comments. And 20,000 comments, I've never seen any fucking thing with that many comments. But in the comments, it turned into like a political race war. And
my favorite.
My favorite kind of war.
I love those.
My favorite kind of war. The
I
only
them.
war worth fighting.
Yeah, exactly. Look, what if there's a war to be had, my favorite is the race war.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
why not? Fucking better than the old card game. But and now on Instagram you can actually check on your following. They have X amount of your followers are suspicious accounts, right? Which are basically bots.
Huh.
So I went from, I shit you not, less than a month ago, I had 900 accounts that were flagged as suspicious. Because of this post, 3,900 in 3 weeks. I got 3,900 followers, additional followers that Instagram is saying, might be suspect. And so to the point where they took that post that was doing so well off of the algorithm. It's literally like grayed out on my fucking homepage. You have to like click into it to actually view the fucking thing.
What?
Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute. So Instagram is penalizing me because they have bots on their system that all of a sudden this account, that this one post that got popular drew in a bunch of bot accounts to me because it became politically charged in my comments. So I'm getting in trouble because they allow bots in their system, and I figured it out. Facebook and Instagram every quarter report their user base to the public. So part of their stock price is based on those users. They don't want to delete the bots. They just want to punish people who have too many following them so they don't get, so it doesn't become a fucking cesspool. And I'm like, wait, I'm getting penalized because you jerk offs are trying to make more money on your fake user base? Like, and if Instagram is telling me that they're suspicious it might be bots, then you know to delete them. Why do I have to remove those followers? Why don't you just delete those accounts? Of course
sometimes they go away.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, I don't know how any of that works.
I wonder if we're fucking around and does the U.S. government have troll farms so we can fuck with other people's social media accounts in other countries?
I'm sure we were the first troll farm. Scott.
Oh, I mean, we were doing it with the printing press.
Our entire country is a troll farm at this point, dude. We're just, other countries are looking at us like, is this happening? Is this where the going?
It really is, dude. Yeah, the average American is a troll. we don't need bots. We have civilians.
Yeah. I don't know, dude.
Every other country's like Hawk Tua what?
Hawk Tua.
I know, right? Dude, I think if she ran for president right after that broke, she would have won. she might have taken over Kamala's spot and said, fuck Kamala Harris. Joe Biden's out, Hawk Tua girl's in. People don't even know her real fucking, what's her name, like Haley or some shit?
It's Haley Welch.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? I mean, I hope she turns it into some money.
Well, she's making a lot of money, and you know what? She actually seems like
donated to dog stuff.
Yeah, she seems like a really down to earth, genuine person.
She was on Bill Maher's podcast. He's giving her advice, like, hey, with your fame, don't fuck this up. But how's she making money? She got a podcast going on. She got OnlyFans. What's up?
Appearances and sponsorship deals. She's going to start a podcast called Talk Tua.
Oh, okay.
No, seriously, that's what it's called.
Whitney Cummings was her first guest.
Oh my God, Whitney Cummings, huh?
Whitney Cummings, yeah.
All right, good for her. But I mean, I guess she's doing better than the Ocean Spray guy because that guy went to prison eventually, didn't he?
Remember that? The Ocean Spray guy?
During the pandemic, this was like the first. It was like a TikTok thing that went viral. It was just a guy cruising. Yeah, here it is. Play that, Mikey.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, this guy eventually went to jail.
Yeah, on this fucking skateboard.
Yeah, and Stevie Nicks is playing underneath him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play it and get you demonetized.
No, that's fine. Thank you. Yeah. But it's just him cruising down a fucking street, drinking Ocean Spray, listening to Stevie Nicks. And for whatever reason, this just captured America's attention. And I think he ended up going to jail after this. So he
Well, I mean, look at him. He looks like he should have been in jail when he was doing this.
He might have been in jail before.
Yeah, he might have just gotten out of jail, and this is what he did.
Yeah.
With his first hour of freedom.
Can I say this about the Hawk Tua girl? Spitting on it is fine, but the Hawk part, like, do you really want a girl like fucking getting phlegm like?
You know what my problem with that whole thing is?
I was like, I don't want a booger on my dick.
This is my problem with that whole thing, by the way. And this goes back to sort of the pettiness and the is that it's not spelled HAWK.
Yeah.
It's HOCK.
Yeah, hawk.
You like hawk a loogie, right?
Hawk.
You don't
hawk Tua.
It's HOCK.
Yeah.
That bothers me.
Well, you know what it was? It's probably AI doing the captioning.
Yeah.
So whatever. By the way, what's fucked up is that she became famous, but the black guy interviewing her, what happened to him? He's the guy who did the man on the street shit.
No, the dudes are trying to fuck him.
Yeah, Diddy's trying to fuck that guy right now.
Man.
But yeah, they probably use like we all do, just some text or voice to text software, and it just spelled it wrong and it left with it. So now she's the Hawk.
It bothers me to no end, dude. I don't know. Maybe that's the part of me that's on the spectrum or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's just the Asian part of you.
My wife jokes that she thinks I'm on the spectrum.
Well,
which is her excuse for me, like, not showing any emotion or caring, that she's yelling at me or she's crying and I'm just like sitting there staring at her. Like, are you done? You know?
Yeah. So I just, so I chained her back to the radiator and left the apartment. Left the house.
He's just so quirky. What's the fucking term now? Like neurodivergent? What the fuck is that?
I mean, listen, there used to be actual diagnoses back in the day, and now he's on the spectrum. What fucking spectrum and where on it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that'd be like going to the doctor and saying, "Oh yeah, you're sick with what?" Like, can you be more specific? Like, what the fuck is my problem and how do I address it? Oh, you're on the spectrum. Where and how do I address this?
Yeah.
It's not a diagnosis.
Yeah. And like, is that a part of the spectrum where I can just scream the N-word and not get in trouble? Right? How close am I to that?
Or can I count cards? Where am I? Where am I? Right? Where am I on this fucking thing? Right? Can I get a handicap sticker for Christ's sake? Like, what's in it for me? Like, how can I use this to my advantage? Can I check this box on government forms and get disability?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
It's like, listen, I'm way past the point where they can give me extra time to take a test because I don't know what good this does me.
How do they determine that? Whether or not you get handicap tags and disability? Like, if you're on the spectrum, like, is there where's the meter? Like, what's the how many grades? There should be at least grades, right?
I see a lot of handicap plates.
You're a 4 out of 10 on the spectrum.
I'm seeing a lot of handicap plates on cars where the dude gets out, and it's usually a dude. He gets out, and he's just walking normally. That doesn't look like anything's wrong. So I'm like, what level of retard do I need to be to fucking get? And it's always on some fucking fancy sports car too.
Oh yeah, well, that's like, called bribery. Whose dick do I need to suck at the DMV? Right.
To get a handicap placard.
Yeah, apparently Willie Brown's in this state. Dude, you know what? I see a lot of people getting out with fucking handicap tags, just fat fucks. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Your laziness is not a disability.
Well, look.
Maybe if you walked more instead of got in your fucking motorized cart, you wouldn't be so fucking fat.
It was a matter of time, dude. I was seeing obese people at Walmart in motorized carts 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's for people who can't walk.
Yeah, that's what, exactly.
You just don't want to walk.
You don't want to walk. Yeah.
Like,
well, they used to make you pay for them at Disney World back in the day when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, if older people, they go with their grandkids, like, oh, it's, it's a $2 rental for the day. But when they give them to you for free, no one's going to fucking do it. Like, people are cheap. Like, no one's going to fuck it, I'll take it. Dude, I used to go, we go down to fucking my family vacation and we, be bored. It's in like rural fucking Virginia somewhere. Like, let's go down to Walmart, buy some shit and, get an hour out of the house if it was like raining or something. And we'd get the fucking carts and just fucking bomb around there, just goofing off. It was the middle of the night, nobody cared. But if it costs us $5 to rent the car, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna rent this fucking thing. Like, I'm not gonna pay for that.
Well, yeah, it's like we talked about before. It's the incentives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's the incentive. You charge something, people are gonna do it.
Yeah, fuck that. I ain't doing it. Like, I'm cheaper than I'm lazy.
There's a grocery store that still charges you $0.25 for a cart? Is that Aldi or something?
Might be, dude. Do you know Aldi and Trader Joe's are founded by two brothers who had a falling out over who got the family business, which was Aldi. So the guy started Trader Joe's and made his own billions.
And he decided to make the worst parking lots in all of grocery shopping.
Yeah, I mean Trader Joe's is just Costco for single people. Everything is made in single portion sizes. It's cheap goods in single portion sizes. That's what it is.
That's a good point. I never noticed that.
Yeah, that's why they do so well in like Williamsburg, or they're always in like the up and coming neighborhoods on the edge.
Liberal white neighborhoods.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's basically if the gays are there, there's a Trader Joe's there.
Yeah, renters.
Yeah. Why? Yeah, that's the other thing. Why? I mean, gay people should. Everyone's like, white people and gentrification. No, it's gay people gentrifying.
No, gay men.
Yeah, gay men. Yeah. It's not white people. Gay men.
Lesbians aren't gentrifying anything.
Gay men are the tip of the spear on gentrification.
Yeah.
And then the white families move in.
Then the white families, yeah.
Right. It's
gay men, Asians, and white families.
And starter white families, right? It's a yuppie couple who has their first kid, right? And then as soon as they get their second kid, they're fucking out in the suburbs.
Yes.
Right. That's the order of how it works.
Yeah.
And gay men somehow, they don't get any shit.
Yeah,
I don't see black people protesting gay men saying, "Get out of our neighborhood." They welcome them, or well, not really, but
I don't know.
Yeah. The black community still has a weird thing with gay folks, except for Diddy. He is all about it.
I've inspected enough houses in in sort of up and coming neighborhoods to really understand the demographic. And yes, it's mostly gay men or Asians.
Oh yeah, because dude, the Asians don't give a fuck. They're looking for a deal. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and you know what I find a lot of
and Asians get to ride the fence on, are they black? Are they white? Not really, right?
No, they're white. We're white adjacent, dude. That's already been determined.
You're kind of like Jews.
We're
right. White when other people want you to be, and not white when other people don't want you to be. Right, it's sort of it's choose your own adventure, but not for Asians.
Yeah,
we choose your adventure.
Right, we're a little more passive.
We being I'm not white, not necessarily white, but like white. White upper class decides whether or not you're in or not.
At least as black as Kamala Harris.
Oh yeah. No,
at least.
No, I've been to enough high.
You might be more black than Kamala Harris.
Yeah, probably. I mean, my father's Dominican. Almost certainly.
Yes.
But yeah, I've been in enough high end country clubs and university clubs and shit like that to know that I am not white, and that will never be accepted as one of their own. Which is fine. I mean, I don't give a fuck. I don't need to wear 2 pop collars and some pastel colors. It's fucking boring. You're a fucking loser. It's just so stuffy. It's not my thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
I want the money. I want to have enough money to get into to be invited to join Augusta, but I don't actually want to join. You know what I'm saying? Like I want the option, but I don't want to do it.
I don't like clubs.
Neither do I.
I don't like clubs. I don't like groups.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I like people one-on-one. Groups of people I hate.
I hate them. It's just like, I remember there's like anything having to do with Asian. I'm like, no, thank you.
Oh yeah. No.
Like I see more of these.
Getting in line for something, or like, my team. I have no team.
Have you noticed that there's like this balkanization of comedy where there's Hispanic shows and Asian shows, and
it's pretty fucking racist.
It's weird. I think it's weird.
It's pretty fucking segregationist, and I don't like it.
Like I've seen like Vietnamese comedy shows. Like, oh great, your crowd is
Taiwanese. Like there's fucking 2 million Taiwanese fucking people in the world.
Yeah,
and they have a whole Taiwanese show. It's like
oh great, you have 5 people in your audience. Awesome.
Yeah, it's like this is a diverse comedy hour. Here's 8 gay people in a row. It's like this is not diversity.
I see.
Diversity is having 8 people from all different walks of life and ideologies on the same show.
I see these Asian shows, and I've had friends ask me, like, would you do an Asian show? No, I don't want to.
Yeah. You know what I did? You know what I did once? I don't know if you were there. You might have been there. I did a what was it called? Is it The Future is Feminine or some shit?
Yes, yeah, I was at that show.
At the Chateau.
Yeah, I actually came to that show.
It was like 5 chicks,
female,
1 trans chick, and then me rounding out the show.
I came to that show. It was The Future's female.
Yeah, and I asked the woman, I was like, why did you book me on this? It's like, because I saw your Instagram. I thought you were really funny. I was like, okay. I was like, this is going to go fucking terrible. And sure enough, it went great. Because I think the crowd was just like, oh shit, he was just different than everybody else.
Well, yeah,
like,
you were the only,
the only guy without 40,
well, you were the
joke.
funniest person because you were a dude. So
just by default.
Right. It was a comedy show, so they're like, well, we got to get a comedian out here.
But I think what made it different was like, oh, they heard, women complaining about men 5 times in a row and a couple gay people doing jokes about being gay. And then I just had jokes about, life. And I was like, oh, wait, I've heard every gay joke, an hour of gay jokes. Here's some jokes that aren't about being gay or about being a woman. It's just, my dad's an asshole. It's like, oh, that's great. It's great stuff, man.
I think you were with me. It was at Yamashiro. We were sitting outside, and there was a comedian who talked about one of the worst sets he ever had. And it was in Santa Monica. It was the worst comedy show he ever went to. And he said there was, I want to say like 3 Asian women who were in the show, and they all started out with the same joke.
Oh my God.
It was the same joke. It had something to do with like English being your second language.
Oh yeah.
And and apparently none of them listened to anyone else's set.
Oh yeah, that's always a dangerous thing to do.
And then they started out. Their first joke was the same joke.
Yeah. Well, I've seen I've seen at least 24 black comics have the joke. Roughly, it's a very diverse group of white people here tonight. Like that line.
Yeah,
I've heard that line from 30 black comics. And look, I get it. Starting out, I look like that premise. I look like this or this. Like that's, but I've seen like black comics that have been doing it for 10 years still use that. I'm like, oh my God, dude, like you don't have something else? Like you don't have another tool in your toolkit to work out the idea that, you're black in
You're black in a room full of white people.
Yeah.
I have a
also
joke
isn't always the case too. So they'll use that reference and they're like, half the room is fucking black. What are you talking about?
Well, they can't see him. It's
Turn the lights on.
Turn the lights on.
Let me get an accurate count.
Yeah. I have a joke like that where, if because if you go outside
you all
LA,
start out with that shit.
I'll start out with something like, it reminds me of being at home in
Yeah.
Kansas, where I'm just trying to convince a bunch of white people I'm not Chinese.
Yeah, I mean, I did that in Berlin. What did I say? I was like, oh, Berlin, beautiful city. It reminds me a lot of Boston. Great town. People barely speak English. Not a black person in sight. Like that. I did that. This is like this. That.
How is comedy in Germany? Because
dude, the fucking comics out there are really funny.
Oh yeah,
really funny, and they come from all over the place. But all the comedy I did was in English.
Okay.
And I was surprised how good at speaking English, because there were some German comics, but then comics from Russia. Russia stamped out a lot of anyone who made a joke about Putin got fucking flushed out after the Ukraine kicked off. So there's a bunch of Russian comics out there, super funny guys and super absurd. Everyone's like, oh, this Casey Rocket guy's blowing up. And Casey's a very funny guy. Shout out to Casey Rocket. But it's like I saw fucking 5 guys over there that would do it. That were like that kind of absurdist and different and like and gals that were just like fucking killer writing, but also like just topics you wouldn't even think of. Like I was like, this is fucking great. I was surprised. Yeah,
because I don't like Germany doesn't come across to me as a country that would be there would be a lot of comedy.
Well, there's certain things you can't joke about because they don't take the Holocaust lightly.
Yeah.
Like you can't joke about that kind of shit. But no, dude, because particularly Berlin, it's a very artist-friendly town. Like you get like an artist fees. Berlin very easily.
So you can't go to Germany and be like, "Hey, the Holocaust. I got some questions. I don't actually think you guys did that many.
Oh yeah,
6 million. Have you done the math? Like they don't like that.
That's 10 a minute. Whatever the fucking. But no, I mean you can, but at least at those English shows, it brings in some expats, but also like other Europeans who speak English. So like, and there's some Germans there. I'm sure if you're doing an all German show in German, I'm sure I'm definitely sure you can't go on TV and start making fucking wild assertions about the Holocaust. Like because you can't lie about it, right? Yeah. But part of what's funny is if you lie about it, like or whatever, you sort of bend the truth to fit a premise. I know you can't like do that on TV and shit, but in the clubs they didn't give a fuck, man. It was cool. It was real sick.
Yeah, I can imagine that comedy in German just sounds like a Bill Burr set.
Oh yeah,
you're just fucking angry.
Yeah. Well, I was joking with him about that too. I was like, everything sounds like eins, uns, uns, uns. And I was like, now I get your music. Uns, uns, uns. Sounds like your fucking language. Like, I get it.
How long were you over there?
I was there about a week, a little over,
nice.
a week a week on the ground, and then an extra day and a half, a day going out. They come back.
Where'd you fly? You fly into Berlin?
But via Paris to Berlin.
Paris, Berlin.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Germany, and it was surprisingly inexpensive, particularly for Europe, like Germany relative to the other countries.
Yeah.
My only beefs, and I guess this is all of Europe. They don't fucking believe it. What's that? You sleeping?
Just the
Do a little math.
Oh.
Just on the screen.
Oh, how many was it?
Well, I was just gonna work back from that 6 million.
6 million.
All right, yeah.
Over
So
6 years, it's $1 million a year.
yeah.
Times 365. You know.
Holy shit! Yeah, let's do that math real quick.
Like, okay.
Let's number check the old Nazi regime. $1 million a year.
I'll do my Candace Owens impression.
265, 2,700 a day.
27. How many is that? That's like
Divided by
1,000 an hour.
24. That's 115 an hour.
It's 100 an hour, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you're killing more than a Jew a minute. That's
a lot,
crazy.
man.
Yeah, they
It's a
say
lot.
a New York minute. I'm talking about a Nazi minute. An old Berlin minute.
100 a minute.
100 a minute.
Oh man, that's a lot, dude.
That's a fucking shit ton, and that's just the Jews. They killed like another fucking 4 million. Poles, Cossacks,
Yeah.
Catholics. They fucking slaughtered half a million Catholics.
Yeah, they killed 3-4 million Poles. Yeah.
I mean, they took out a good many. That's what's a little lost here. I mean, definitely the Jews were the biggest slice of the pie of people they killed.
Yeah.
But there was some other pie. There was some big chunks.
Yeah, but didn't Japan kill like 20 million Chinese?
Yeah, dude, they fucking evaporated. No, the 20 million that we know about, there's estimates that it could be upwards of 50 million because back, in those imperial, at the end of the imperial eras, they didn't fucking keep tabs on this shit. Like bodies were just left in gutters. Like they said, somewhere between 20 and 50 million Chinese died in World War II.
World War II.
Yeah.
And we're just astonished that they could tell the difference.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, so the Japanese military killed 3 to 10 million according to estimates, but in over the course of the war, I think it was 20 to 50 million total Chinese died.
It's a lot of fucking.
That's crazy. Also, Sino-Japanese War. Can you still say that?
Sino-Japanese War. Yeah.
What is Sino short for?
So it's China. So it's the Russo-Japanese War that happened.
But why Sino? What's China about Sino?
I can't. You can't ask me.
Come on, man. You're fucking Chinese.
Why,
right? You're some sort of mixed race Chinese. You have an answer.
I don't know how.
You're
Chinese
the Kamala Harris of China.
Yeah, because when I go over there, I start talking like a Chinaman.
Yeah. Orientalman?
Orientalman, yeah.
All right, let's get into the news before we run a little over here, having a good time. This I saw today, and of course, I know I want to bring some news about your bestie, Gavin Newsom.
Oh, yeah. I love that guy.
Great fucking hair. Good look. Not necessarily a good fucking policy platform, but a good look. Very Ken dollish.
You know what? Look, if I'm going to be objective about it, he's a very attractive guy.
I'd fuck him. I'd fuck his mouth.
His wife's hot.
Oh yeah,
and dude, he has the most Aryan looking family.
Oh yeah,
dude,
yeah. That's what I'm saying. He looks like a fucking Ken doll.
He does.
Yeah,
he does. He's a dickbag, but yeah, he's a very attractive guy.
Yeah. So Gavin Newsom signs a bill on political memes. Elon Musk criticized California Governor Gavin Newsom for allegedly making parody illegal after Newsom signed 3 bills targeting AI-generated fake images in political ads. The new law, described as the toughest in the U.S. against political quote-unquote deepfakes, takes effect immediately. That's crazy. You never hear that with the law. It bans creating and sharing deepfakes related to elections 120 days before and 60 days after the election. Courts can also stop their distribution and impose civil penalties. This move follows Newsom's criticism of Musk for Musk sharing altered images of Kamala Harris. Now,
oh, I'm cramping. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean this is one where, look, misinformation and deep fakes are going to be a problem. I mean, maybe not now because they're not perfect yet, but at some point, AI is going to be so good you're not going to be able to distinguish between a public figure saying something and an AI generated version of that public figure saying something. But this now seems a little extreme. And also, I don't know that adjudicating it with a law is the best way to handle it. Like, you need technology to undo other technology, right? So you need some way for a true image to be marked as a true image and to know that a fake is a fake. No law is going to be able to fucking do that, right? Like, some other AI needs to be developed that needs to. This might be where crypto comes in, where you fucking attach a goddamn NFT to an image to make sure it's the original one. You know what I'm saying? You all right? What are you taking a dump over there?
Fucking cramping over here.
Just talking about Gavin Newsom. Now you got to take a shit.
His way of ending the political talk. He's like, "Oh, show's over.
Show's over. Fuck this."
Muscle cramps, dude. No. Yeah, dude. Well, the thing is, like, what's the deal? Like, if it's a deep fake, then it's fake.
Yeah,
like,
I get what he's. I see. The problem is when you make it political is the problem. Like, it should be a civil penalty if you use someone's likeness without their fucking consent.
Right. I was gonna say, I mean, like, can't you use? Can't there be some sort of a, something civil when you're using their likeness without their permission to say something that the other would otherwise wouldn't say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
but to make this like a political law right before an election and make it immediately enforceable, it's like
and also like there's also such a thing as parody.
Yeah, well that's the other thing too. Like I mean, like you're fucking around. Like if I dress up as Donald Trump and say this shit, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's I don't know how that goes. It'll be an interesting thing for the courts to sort out because I'm pretty sure someone's going to sue.
Oh, it's going to immediately go to fucking and they're going to pause it and all this shit. But it just looks bad too. It's like, come on, Kevin, you're a fairly savvy politician.
Yeah,
this looks like a fucking handout. This looks like some bullshit just to appease the Democratic machine. Now's not the time for this.
Well, and again, the law's going to stand, and the law's going to be in place until someone has standing to sue.
Yeah.
So, it's like someone's going to purposefully make a deep fake just so they can just so they can get prosecuted under this law, so they can then sue.
Oh yeah, but then also they get a bit of fame for that too, right? I mean, like, I'm surprised Ben Shapiro didn't do it just so he can grab a headline or name your favorite influencer. Logan Paul should be all over this fucking bullshit tomorrow.
He should.
We should. This was interesting to me. Gaming ranks at the top of the list of least attractive hobbies for a man to have, according to a woman.
I want to know what these women look like. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it says an astonishing 90% of women say that it is not remotely attractive whatsoever for guys to play a video game. So they have the list here. Video games is at the top. It goes collecting figurines next, magic tricks. At the bottom of the list that they provided, bird watching. 90% of women thinks it's unattractive for a man to be into gaming, but 50% think it's unattractive for a man to be into bird watching. Which is
how what are we talking about gaming? Like how much gaming are we talking? Like I get it if the guy is spending most of his waking hours gaming.
Yeah, see that's the problem with it. It's an addiction. Right.
Yeah. So like I play maybe 20 minutes at a time, four times a week.
You know when I play? Every time a new Red Dead Redemption or a Grand Theft Auto comes out, I'll probably spend 80 hours that year playing it.
Yeah.
And then it literally 4 years between each version comes out. And then I don't play fuck all until that comes out.
Yeah,
yeah. I just like to kill people in an open world. And then I put the controller down. But these guys who are like, you've seen them, where they have the special ergonomic gaming chair and the fucking gay headset, and they got the ergonomic controller, and they're talking to people that it's like I don't want to play a game with anyone on the internet. If I'm going to play a game with someone, they're sitting in the fucking room with me.
So.
And I sure as shit don't want to talk to them. Like, what the fuck? I don't even call my mother. I'm going to talk to some asshole,
Dude,
while playing StarCraft or whatever the fuck.
I did an inspection at this house once, and the people who ordered the inspection were living there. Mm-hmm. And the guy was... he was a Twitch streamer.
Okay. Well, if it's your job, I get it.
But also he did voiceover. Because his closet was like a sound studio, nice. And then he was just talking about it. Because when I'm on site, I like to talk to people and just kind of get to know them.
Yeah, get a sense for when they're home, when they're not. You can rob the place later.
Yeah.
Or better yet, sell that information to
exactly
minority groups.
To the Venezuelan gangs. It's like, this dude's not fighting back. He's a pussy. Matter of fact, he'll let you fuck his wife.
He'll film a cuck video and put it on OnlyFans.
But yeah, I was talking to him. And he said, he was like, I just started, I'm a Twitch streamer. I'm making a little bit of money now, blah, blah, blah. And so his wife had the day job and was the breadwinner. And I could just tell that there was like some resentment in her towards him. Yeah. Because this was a grown man
who's playing games all day.
Who's trying to make money playing video games. And it wasn't something that like he was doing when they got married.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's even crazier.
And so, you know, if you're doing voiceover work, you're not making a whole lot of money. Most people, like 99% of people, aren't making anything off of that shit.
Yeah.
And so she's working her day job, and I saw her around the house, and I could just kind of tell she was just kind of annoyed by him. which could very well be me, because you know I started stand up after we were married. My wife and I were married, but I also
you got a real fucking job.
I have a day job.
Yeah.
You know that brings in some money.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting to watch because like this guy, I could tell there was just like this aspect of extended adolescence in him.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like, what are we talking about, like, into gaming? Like, is it, like, hours a day?
Yeah. What level of gaming are we talking about?
Is, like...
Yeah, does he play for an hour a day and doesn't put on a headset and just puts it down?
Yeah.
Or is he like, turning down sex so he can play more Madden?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Know,
is she walking in front of you butt naked and you can't...
Get out the way.
Yeah, you can't stop fucking playing Roblox. You know? She's trying to fuck your face, and you're just like swatting it away like it's a mosquito. I understand that, but
but that's the thing. It's also not sexy. Like, think about it. If your hobby was being a blacksmith, which no one fucking needs anymore, but you're out in the garage hammering a piece of steel into a blade.
Yeah,
you know, it's like working with hot coats. Man, it's pretty fucking hot. He's working up a sweat out there.
Yeah,
you know, but if you're just fucking. No one wants to fuck this guy.
Every
chick wants to fuck a guy swinging a hammer on a hot steel. No one wants to fuck the guy just clicking little buttons.
There's a YouTube channel where this Asian dude, he makes swords.
That's cool.
Yeah, he forges swords out of like steel and
not
like,
bamboo.
Yeah, he just forges them out of like steel. His whole channel is that he's got like millions of views and maybe over 1 million followers and shit. I was like, I didn't know that was like a thing, but
that's the thing, dude. The internet, there's always there's 8 billion people on the earth. You need a fraction of 1% to be into what you're into.
Yeah.
To be a fucking millionaire these days. I mean, it really doesn't take much given the law of big numbers.
You know, everybody can sort of be global now, you know?
Yes.
Like multinational.
Exactly. You can find the 20 people in all 3,000 countries that like your shit and and all of a sudden you have a following.
I mean, that's what I tell people is like like corporations, most corporations are multinational. That's why they're making so much money.
Fuck. They also don't give a that's the thing, like, you know, dude, Ford was selling goddamn cars to the Nazis until we entered the war. Then they stopped that shit.
Yeah.
Right? But now it's like, Ford doesn't, you know, most of their sales are probably overseas. They don't give a fuck about this country. Like, you know, even though they're domiciled here, they don't give a fuck. Like, you know, like, I mean, Facebook was taking rubles from Russians in 2016 for political ads. It's like, you don't know that this is not right? Like, shouldn't they be paying for an American political ad in American dollars? You know,
right.
Like, but they don't give a fuck. They're just trying to make money, you know? It's one of those dudes. Dude, NVIDIA wants to sell AI chips to China, our sworn enemy. It's like, hey, maybe don't do that.
Artificial intelligence to China? Are they trying to figure out the facial recognition out there or something? Because it doesn't work well.
They need more high-powered chips to determine the difference between the facial features.
That's why Asians wear masks. You know, it's like, oh, we only got your eyes to work with.
Yeah. Well, I remember like some years ago, like 5 years ago, when Apple released like the first version of the thing to unlock your phone.
Yeah, they didn't work in China.
Yeah, people were upset because like, oh, my mom could open my phone but we look different. I'm like, not according to math, because it's not like AI is racist. It's just doing a scan of geometric distance between your eyes, nose, lips.
That's why I married a white woman. Yeah, she could never unlock my phone with her face. You know.
Yeah, you married into a different level of spy shit with a white woman, though. She'll get in there if she wants.
That's right. That's right. This last one, I think I sent this article to you, but I loved it so much I wanted to bring it up on air. $1 million is offered to an LGBTQ advocacy group to host a pride parade in Gaza's West Bank.
Yeah, I'll donate. Is it a GoFundMe?
Right. A watchdog group that aims to expose hypocrisy announced Monday that it would donate $1 million to the Queers for Palestine organization or any other U.S. LGBTQ advocacy organization to host a gay pride parade in Gaza or the West Bank.
Yeah.
Anti-Israel groups such as Queers for Palestine have surfaced across America since the Hamas terror group attacked Israel on October 7th. But homosexuality remains deeply taboo in Palestinian territories. I love this because the genius of it is if someone takes you up on it, they're not coming out of that alive. So you will never have to pay that $1 million.
Well, yeah, because when you show up, they're going to have a rock concert waiting for you.
Yeah, and they're going to be thrown at you, not played.
Yeah. Dude, I love Gays for Gaza.
Gays for Gaza? Is that a thing?
Gays for Gaza.
Queers for Palestine.
Queers for Palestine.
Why would they go for... Yeah, why not... Wait, that's fucking terrible marketing for Queers for Palestine. They should have started with Gays for Gaza.
Gays for Gaza.
It's way better than Queers for Palestine. Who the fuck is doing the marketing in the LGBT
It's never
community?
gays in Gaza.
Well, you don't last long, dude.
No.
You know, they take you up to the top floor and you take the fucking flight down. Just fucking kick you off the edge of the roof.
Yeah, that's why there's so many. That's why there's so many gays in Israel. You know, it's like if they're bombing all the buildings, there's no more roofs to throw you off of.
Oh yeah. I saw. I won't name the name of the comic, but there's some comic out there that we both know who went fucking batshit. You know, after the October 7th attacks.
Yeah.
And he's talking about like, oh, you know, all these people who support Israel. It's like. Who support the country that got attacked, sure, but you know, who feel bad for Israel. They're saying, you know, in Palestine that, you know, they won't allow gay people. You know, they'll throw them off the roofs. It's like, there's no more roofs to throw them off of. All the buildings are rubble. And I'm like, that is a terrible argument to make against that. It's like, so if you're saying if there were buildings, we'd still throw the gays off them? Like, like this is the worst argument I've ever heard for this. It's like, do you listen to yourself in that circumstance? I mean, and the thing about the gays for Palestine. That's clearly fucked up. But every woman on earth should really be, you know, supporting, you know, is not necessarily Israel and some of their right-wing settlements and all this shit, but just the idea that women have rights in Palestine is just not true, right? Like there's none of that, right? So you see all these like liberal women on campus supporting, you know, free Palestine, free Palestine. It's like, yeah, if you free Palestine, women are going to be enslaved. So half of Palestine is always going to be not free.
My favorite are the photos of the gays wearing hijabs.
Yeah, it's so anti-gay pride because I've been to a pride parade. They wear nothing. Fuck a hijab. They're not wearing underpants. You know, you're gonna wear like a face mask and your dick's gonna be out. Like,
well, you know, they have the glory hole in the. just got a glory hole into the garb.
They should throw a gay pride parade in Gaza and everyone shows up in a burqa, even the men, but they just cut glory holes in the fucking glory. Yeah, it's like, is there a rule against that? You have to cover your whole body, but what if my nuts are just out? Just the nuts. Where does Islam stand on nuts?
I'm pretty sure the men can do what they want.
Oh yeah.
It's just the women. You know, you're not allowed to do anything. Maybe drive now in Saudi Arabia.
Do you know why? That's one of the reasons why in Iran they have one of the highest rates of transgender surgeries. Yeah. Because it's okay to be transgender, but it's not okay to be gay. Yeah, so exactly. Gay guys are getting their dicks lopped off so they can fuck other men.
It's just like
crazy.
Well, it's the same as liberal white women here. That's what they do to their sons. You know,
you can't get lazy, you just cut his dick off.
No, liberal white women take their gay sons and cut their dicks off. So you're a girl now. You know.
Yeah, and now they can only be a bottom. They can't be a top. And we want people on top on this podcast.
You got to teach them to be a power bottom.
Yeah, exactly. Power bottoms. Yeah, I'm gonna start a new podcast called Power Bottom. And it's just me getting fucked in the ass by the industry every week.
On this week's episode of Power Bottom.
Dude, always fun. We ran over a little time, but tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram for now. If I don't get nuked again. I think the last time I had just gotten nuked.
Yeah, how many? So you've been through 3?
This is my 3rd account, I believe.
Christ almighty. Do you keep changing emails so they don't know it's not you?
I don't even remember anymore.
Okay, so, yeah, you should change emails.
You can find me on Instagram at Jokes on Dave. I'm on Twitter with the same handle, although I'm probably shadow banned there somehow.
Yeah, that's crazy. Elon Musk, I thought he freed your people, but I guess not.
Oh, no, dude. Leonardo Joni had her account nuked.
Jesus.
The whole thing.
We'll talk about that off air. I want to know what she said.
Didn't she say?
Dude, thanks for doing this, man. Appreciate it as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Guys, thanks for listening. Of course, follow me at Randy Valero. Follow the podcast at Ready Set Blow. Love you. Peace. Take it next week.